Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Burning Order podcast. I'm Jake Scarborough, joined by my co-host Fidel Fabian and Matthew Stotts. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
I'm making it.
Well, we got quite a bit to talk about today. Well, not that much, I guess. Formula
More
One
than what I thought.
is, I guess, Formula One can be our starting topic. They raced at the Red Bull Ring in Austria this past weekend for one of their sprint weekends. As usual, Max Verstappen sweeping it because that's just what F1 is now.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch it, so I'm not sure if you guys want to toss anything in on it. So, Matthew, we can start off with you.
Track limits were a big problem. Track limits were a very big problem. I think it was half the field. Half the field got hit with penalties.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting to say the least. The McLaren looked a lot better. Obviously, I'm watching for my sake, McLaren fan. But yeah, I think, looked good and Verstappen won, which kind of sucked, but that's okay. I don't know what else really happened in the race besides track penalties. Did we have any retirements? Oh, no, did we? I don't remember if we did. I can't remember if there were actually any retirements. Oh no, there was. It was the Haas. The Haas retired. It was Nico
Hulkenberg?
Hulkenberg.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
because
it was
didn't he, like,
Hulkenberg.
jump one of the crew members almost?
Oh no, it was oh no, that was in the shootout.
That was in the
was it not?
shootout? Okay. I just remember the photo of him, like, on two wheels in pit road.
Yeah, but he retired due to mechanical issues. So, other than that, though, I mean, I guess it was a lot better than I was expecting. There was racing all around, in my opinion, which was probably something we haven't seen in F1 in maybe a couple weeks or so, or a couple weeks of when they've been racing. So, a better race than usual. So that's at least something I'll take away from it. Fidel.
I mean, not a lot to write about for Austria. Just the typical F1 weekend with Red Bull dominating almost everything. Hulkenberg, I think, he had a really strong start, and then
That was a sprint. That was a nice one.
yeah, but not much I can remember from just Red Bull dominance and track limits. That's all I can say.
Amen, brother.
Well, aside from that, we obviously had IndyCar. They were racing at Mid-Ohio this past weekend, where Alex Palou, went 3 in a row, is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Now having him with over a 100-point lead over teammate Scott Dixon. So, after having only one win last year, and that coming in the season finale and kind of being quiet, obviously a contract year for him at Ganassi. This is a big deal because he is just walking away with this championship, and there's only a couple races left, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But nevertheless, Mid-Ohio as a whole. Matthew, did you get to watch it?
I did. I was disappointed, but it was a race. With the we saw Ray Hall. We saw Award by the way, coming from like 25th up to as high as a second. Took a gamble, took some gambles, stuff like that. I was really impressed with just both, or at least two of the Ray Hall Lindemann racing cars. They showed some speed. Obviously, shed a tear when I saw that man, Graham Ray Hall, take second and the start. So, but yeah, Alex Palou, bro, he was in a completely different area code. Like, I mean, my man checked out after the first pit stop. Why are you making me laugh, bro? Why are you making me laugh?
Look behind you.
Oh boy.
Bro, what you doing, bro? Oh my god, bro.
His family's messing with him.
The wrong crap, bro. What y'all doing, bro? I done told you. Let me mute your mama. Y'all take care.
All right. Well, Fabian, you continue on.
Yeah, Mid-Ohio was definitely one of the races this season. I actually thought Ray Hall was gonna get it done. He looked like he was having a strong run at Mid-Ohio, but that pit stop with his pit crew installing the car that really messed him up. Herta going through his third strategist for the weekend. He looked like he was gonna have a good run today. He got pole, but just couldn't finish it outright after getting a speeding penalty. And once again, Alex Palou winning the race. But one surprising thing was McLaren because Rosenquist he qualified I think 10th, while Rossi and Rossi and Pato they qualified horribly. They were out round one, group one,
Well, the
and
issue with Pato was he spun, so and caused that red flag. So
yeah,
that's why he started back there.
I was just surprised how Pato and Rossi were able to flip around those their starts and ended up finishing somewhere in the top 10. I can't remember specifically, but they were able to capitalize on their misfortunes. Except for Rosenquist with a little scramble with Marcus Ericsson.
Mm. Well, Matthew, do you want to insert anything else to what you were talking about?
Benjamin Peterson, my boy.
Oh
My
no.
boy,
Oh
he
no.
was a
Someone
lap
was going to
car to
say it.
deal with. He was a lap car to not technically a lap car at the time, but was he someone you had? Oh my goodness, I never thought that Ryan Newman of IndyCar. I tell you, bro.
Oh no, he was a lap
He
car.
Oh yeah, after he got lapped. Yeah, after he
Yeah.
got lapped. But man, bro, it literally Ryan Newman of IndyCar. I mean, my man's bro. If he's like, if you're gonna pass me, you're gonna have to pass me.
Yeah.
Ain't no lollygagging around. You're gonna have to work around me. I mean, gosh, he, I think he was holding up a whole train or something near the end of the race with Grosjean, Renas VK, DiFrancesco, whatever the hell is. I'm sorry, I don't want to get their name wrong, but you know who I mean. Devlin, there we go, just Devlin. But yeah, a lot of people complained about him, rightfully so. Rightfully so, in my opinion. I get it. You know, you're entitled to race, and all that. But I feel like once you get lapped, I feel like you just need to just drop. You know what I'm saying? Like if you've got lapped, I think you need to make it fair to the people who are actually racing for positions at that point. So that's the only thing I wanted to add, though.
Yeah. I'll kind of toss in my input on that. I've been very critical of his performance this year. Obviously, a rookie driver. He's over at AJ Foyt. That's a team that, the past few years has been hit and miss. Bourdais was there, looked promising when he was at the team. It looks like they're holding it down with Ferrucci, but Peterson hasn't been doing anything. I mean, at St. Pete, he practically drove full throttle into a multi-car accident. At what was it, Detroit? He drove straight into Graham Rahal, who was wrecked under caution. And just aside from that, he hasn't been putting results on the table. And sure, you could say, yeah, it's because he's a rookie, blah, 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 blah. It's not adding on to his case any better when you're going into a race where you're running in the back, you're not even fighting anyone hardly, and you're holding up the leader. He was holding up Palou for, I think it was like 6 laps, and then holding up everyone else. And I think Scott McLaughlin said it best was, you do stuff like that, you're not going to have any friends back here. And that's not what you need, especially as a rookie driver in, a lower funded team, essentially. So hopefully he straightens, his attitude up, or I don't even know his racecraft, I guess. But aside from that,
His
the
awareness.
races, yeah, exactly, his awareness. But
Horrible.
aside from that, the race itself, yeah, IndyCar's been putting on a stellar season. I feel like you guys can probably agree with me on that.
Oh yeah.
Even with, you look at F1, Max Verstappen's walking away with that title. And I think there's been one entertaining race in F1 this year from more than like half the fans' perspective. But you look over at IndyCar, and almost every race has been entertaining in some way, shape, or form for the most part. And they've got a guy walking away with the title. So, Palou was in a league of his own. I feel like that was the first race this season where he has just been out of the gates. No one could stop him. No one was going to do anything about it. But aside from that, it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold on to that gap, because obviously Scott Dixon's hunting for, what is it, his 7th title? Or is it his 8th?
Hunting is a strong word now.
Well, I mean, he's sitting second, so he can still. This is Scott Dixon we're talking about. Scott Dixon likes
A very
randomly
distant
winning a
second, in
title.
my opinion.
Well, hey, closer than anyone
Very
else.
distant.
Closer than anyone else.
Where
So,
is? I'm trying to look for the points. I want to see where everyone is.
but I don't
The
know.
points race at least is going to be entertaining for second on back. I mean, it's looking good.
Oh
Like
yeah,
entertaining for that at least.
exactly. It's definitely going to be interesting, but obviously Ganassi brought something different to the table this year
Oh
compared
yeah,
to
by far, bro.
last
By
year.
far.
What else? Oh, NASCAR, duh. Okay, Xfinity race, Chicago Street Course.
Oh
This was
man.
the debuting weekend of the Chicago Street Course. Had a little bit of controversy to it, I guess, because it was raining all weekend. The Xfinity race got rained out. They postponed it and then called it 2 laps before the halfway point, which is something NASCAR said they won't do. But under the circumstances that they were given, where they were offered to host the race on Monday, they chose to not do that and just call it. So, with that being said, geez, I don't even know who won. Cole Custer won.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Okay.
won.
Yeah.
Freaking
So
Mickey.
we didn't even get out of stage 2. Cole Custer won. I don't know. What's your guys' input on what we got of an Xfinity Series race?
Hmm. 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 I don't know. I feel like we didn't get enough racing.
Oh,
Obviously, we didn't even make it past stage 2. So, but I guess for what we had and what we were looking at, it wasn't as bad as what I feel like people were really making it out to be before it even started.
yeah.
And it goes for the same for the cup race, but we'll get into that later, obviously. Um, I think it's funny enough. I think NASCAR actually made the right call in this situation, which is crazy because I don't know how like what type of time they were in for Monday. I don't know what their what where their zone of time of getting this race in was going to be. And obviously you couldn't do it Sunday after the rain and stuff, and NASCAR Cup not able to even run it all the way. So I think NASCAR probably did the best they could. Lightning delays certainly didn't help shit. Um, but um, I don't know. I don't know what even happened in the Xfinity race. If you want to be completely honest, other than Cole Custer winning, and then I think I only knew the top 3, which was Custer, Nemechek, and God, who was it? Allgaier.
I think so.
So yeah. So I mean, I really didn't. I mean, yeah, that's just unfortunate, but I do hope to go back to this track next year, to have a proper shot of the race. This
Yeah.
just, of course, out of all weekends, it chooses to rain its butt off and stuff. It shows the week in NASCAR. So, um, but yeah, we'll just 7 out of 10 for what they were given.
Yeah, I think the bat we knew Cole Custer was going to win that race. He won stage 1. He's already playing like a second and a half of a lead. For like I can't even get the words out right now, but he was basically pretty dominant up until the red flag with the lightning and then started downpouring rain. Try to get the race in on Sunday, but that couldn't happen. Call the race 2 laps early from the halfway point. A pretty controversial decision, but I I don't, I don't know about that Monday date. I don't know if the city was going to agree with that or not, but
Oh no, NASCAR said that they were offered that from the city, but they turned it down.
right. Well, I can't say anything except for pretty disappointing start for Justin Marks in that race. I had high hopes for Justin Marks, and then his car just blew up.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, I just wish we could have seen what that race had to offer before the lightning and the rain.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, I don't know. I guess my input would be because they didn't do double file restarts in the cup race, did they?
No, it was just single file.
Okay. Well, I feel like they kind of took notes from the Xfinity race too, because I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but any restart they had, because they were restarting right on the final corners exit, whoever was starting on the inside in the lead was already gone by like 3 car lengths by the time they got to the line because of how narrow that corner is. So, I mean, that's my only criticism, honestly, from the Xfinity race was, if you were in the lead on the inside line or on the right line, should I say, you were gone on the start because you can't get it going and you have to take a wider exit, all that. So, hopefully next year they kind of do something to make the final corner wider or like less of a 90-degree. But who knows? Aside from that, the race itself, I mean, from what we got, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. We saw some good battles. I personally thought the Xfinity race was going to blow the Cup race out of the water, but however, that did not happen because the Xfinity race didn't even get to finish properly. So, I mean, aside from that, I have nothing else to really touch on that. So, as for the Cup race, well, you know what? I'll just let Stotts take it away. I'm not even gonna touch on that yet.
Bro, that race was amazing. The Cup race was so much fun to watch. Not just having to watch the transition from the wet to the dries, but to see the aggressiveness on the wets to start. We saw the aggressiveness from Tyler Reddick. We saw it succeed for him to be very aggressive, Christopher Bell as well. And then we also saw some of the drivers who tried to be aggressive on the wet, not be successful. We saw Denny Hamlin was aggressive, doing good and stuff. And I think it was like what, lap 3, lap 4, into the tire bear. We saw Kyle Busch. I don't know how the heck he didn't get no damage, but my man went straight into it. That was crazy. I'm trying to think of other things that happened. Oh, Noah Gragson had some type of date set up with that specific tire barrier that he kept hitting all race. Regardless if it was a wet or the dry, he still found a way to hit it every time, basically. Harrison Burton had some issues, how locking up. Man, bro. And then, Jeb, sorry, who? Jensen Button trying to come into the pits, got spun out. Oh, my goodness. It was beautiful. This race was amazing. Strategy as well with the race getting that's one thing I didn't like. Obviously some people had pit before NASCAR had made a decision on the laps being reduced and stuff, which I don't know if NASCAR really people up in the booth, man. So we probably weren't going to get anything there. But man, great race. SVG, I got that right. Yes, I got that right. Good. I want to make sure I get it right. Seeing him show off his skills in this series for his first Cup debut. I'm sorry to my dog. It was beautiful to see him make the to make the pass with how many laps was it to go? 2 to go. Yeah, they did it in overtime, right? Yeah, they did in overtime
Yeah.
because of the because someone wrecked again. But man, it was amazing. I enjoyed the race. It showed the haters, the doubters wrong that were out here talking about the NASCAR don't belong on a street course, all this goofy nonsense. It performed well. It did what it needed to, and I want them to go back here next year 100%. This was a great race. I think it really brought in Max Verstappen watched it, for crying out loud. This was a great race. Yeah, this race did numbers, dog. This race did numbers.
Yeah, this race was just a success from every single angle except for the weather. The racing was unlike Coda, where they were just trying to run each other over every restart into turn 1. Shane Vangesbergen winning in his first start. First time that has happened since 1963 when my dad was like a year old. It was something. Scott's already covered everything that had to be covered for this race. Proved all the doubters wrong. It's now opened a door that NASCAR hasn't touched ever. And now possibility of NASCAR maybe going to doing a street race in Canada, maybe in New York, Philadelphia. It has increased.
Broke through Philadelphia in there.
Okay. Maybe a little far fetched. I don't think we're gonna expand the street circuit market for a couple years, if that. I don't know. I guess I have a little bit of a different viewpoint. I feel like
Oh my gosh.
everything stage 3 itself, beautiful. Stage 3 was an absolutely just beautiful thing to see. Stage 1 and 2 were kind of a mess, and I feel like that's to blame on the rain. I think it led to literally looking like an F1 pub lobby at Baku in one of the corners, where half the track was blocked.
About
So
that,
no,
bro.
and then you had everyone missing turn 1, this, that, and the other. The race wasn't. Why am I getting weird pop-ups about weather? I do not want you. Anyways, um, nevertheless, stage 3 was perfect. Stage 1 and 2 was. I just blame that on the rain, to be honest. But the race itself, I was not expecting NASCAR to execute on this as well as it did, and I feel like it did bring in a new audience. There were a lot of people that said this was their first NASCAR race they've ever watched, been to, whatever the case. I feel like this is going to get eyes on more European drivers to kind of start coming in for these little Project 91s or just hot being a hot shoe. Is that the term? I don't even remember. But basically coming in for these one-offs. We may see if hell, I would not be surprised if we see Marcus Ambrose return. To be honest with you, I'd love that. Getting another road course, I'd love that. But I don't know. I feel like that was way better than anyone expected it to be. I feel like everyone had their doubts in some way, shape, or form, and to see a guy come in, win his first race, and hell, it's not like it was a fluke win. He was fast all weekend. He qualified up front. He was top of the charts in practice. He brought in a technique of driving that none of these guys used. He was on the clutch the entire lap. This was his first time racing while shifting with his right hand. Like, how do you jump through this many loopholes? Hell, he's never driven this car before. He did a 1-day practice session at the Charlotte Roval prior to this. So to jump through that many loopholes and win on your first start, that's something crazy. So, hopefully we see Shane back in the Cup Series, or let alone NASCAR again at some point. But aside from that, the race was a lot better than I expected it to be. Just had its little ups and downs in the first half, but any first race, I guess, is going to have that.
I want to point out the viewership in this race. This was the highest the viewership has been in 5 years, dating back to, I believe it was Indianapolis, or it was a plate race or something. I don't remember.
Oh,
But this
jeez.
was the highest viewership it's had since 2017. It
Jeez.
was crazy.
Well, that's a NASCAR moment, honestly. Aside from that, we have some weird news, I guess. This morning, it was announced Dale Jr. is coming back for an Xfinity start at Homestead. I honestly have nothing to say about it. He's just popping in for these random Xfinity starts. I don't know if you guys have anything to toss in on it.
Bro doing side quests. Bro doing side quests.
I mean,
yeah, do either of you guys have something you want to toss in?
it's Dale Jr. It's the modern day NASCAR Jesus. He can do whatever he wants and people will be happy.
He'll put fans in the stands. I'll tell you that. So
That's
Miami,
true.
Homestead got that going for him out of that.
Well, aside from that, what else really is there?
I mean, you got Marcos Ambrose in Mid Ohio.
What?
Marcos Ambrose? Are you
Mark?
Marco Andretti? My God.
Anyways, you know what? Just because you messed that up, and we're not even.
My mind was still on supercars, man.
All right, Marco Andretti, truck race, Mid Ohio, and Connor Daly. I could give a rat's ass.
Oh yeah, I'm not really like I'm not.
Like Connor
Not
Daly's
like
a cool guy.
eyeball.
Marco can't say the same, but
Oh no, I mean, I like we got different people
yeah.
coming over and trying this, trying out the rigs and stuff. But it's I mean, it's I don't know, not much I can really say on it. I wish him nothing but the best in this. This is his first start, right?
In trucks,
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wish him nothing but the best. And I want to. I hope he does the best he can. Maybe learn a thing or two here in the trucks at Mid Ohio. But yeah, hope he enjoys and all that nice stuff.
All right. Fabian, you got anything?
Not really.
All right. Well, aside from that, predictions for this weekend. We have F1 in Silverstone. What's your guys' call on that?
Verstappen. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's
Yeah. Should I
unless
even? No. Before you say it, I'm gonna jump you to it because I don't know if you're gonna say what I'm saying. Brad Pitt's winning the Silverstone race. He's winning the British Grand Prix.
Oh,
Don't care what anyone says. He's gonna be kryptonite for Max Verstappen.
Sure.
Anywho,
watch too many movies, kid. Watch too many
no,
movies.
I just think it's funny that he was allowed to race, but Colton Hurd is not. Anyways, anything else to toss in on that before we jump to NASCAR predictions?
Can I get my podium?
Sure.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Verstappen winning. I've got Carlos Sainz being second. And hear me out. Hear me out when I say this. Hear me out. Lando Norris, P3. Come on, the McLaren looks so much better. It proved it Austria. It looks so much better.
Sure.
Bro, who do you like, bro? Like, shut up, bro. Who
It's
you
gonna
like?
be Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso.
Having a wet dream. What do you got? Whatever your face is. Fidel.
Verstappen in first, obviously. I got Alonso in second. And a bit of surprise, but not really, since he did win the race last time. Carlos Sainz in third.
But I put him second.
Okay. Anyways, Truck Series predictions Mid Ohio, and then Cup Series and Xfinity Series at Atlanta. Just throw all three out there. Stotts.
Trucks. I've got Taylor Gray.
Okay.
He won there in ARCA last year. I think he can do it in a truck. Second, I'm going for Xfinity. I'm gonna go Parker Kligerman. Just something screaming his name. I don't know. He I think he can really perform at these road courses. I got. Oh wait, no. I'm
They're at
stupid.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh, it's at Atlanta. Well, never mind. Screw him. I got Austin Hill. Austin
Okay.
Hill by a mile, bro.
The plate
By
track
a mile.
merchant.
And then Cup. I'm going Brad Keselowski.
Okay. Fabian.
All right. Trucks at Mid Ohio. I don't know why, but I feel like a random Carson host of our wins just gonna come out of nowhere in Mid Ohio. I don't think he's even good at road courses. He's he's just he just wins a race out of nowhere. He won Texas. He won. What was the other race he won? I completely
Gateway.
forgot. He won Gateway.
Or no, it was Nashville. I'm stupid.
Nashville. There we go. Yeah, I can see Osvar winning at Mid Ohio. Xfinity, Austin Hill. I mean, he won there earlier this season. I think he's gonna win it again. And for
Merchant.
Cup, and for Cup,
Spit it out.
something was happening.
Come on, old man.
I'm gonna go with Byron. I feel like Byron's gonna win Atlanta. It's gonna be a bit of deja vu this weekend.
Okay. Truck Series Mid Ohio. I feel like it's gonna be.
How cold are these takes gonna be? How cold are these takes gonna be?
Oh, they're gonna be cold, baby. They're gonna be cold. It's a guy who knows his way around road courses somewhat. He's not terrible, but he's not the best. But you never know what can happen. I wanted to say Zane Smith. I'm not, because that's just not what I do around here. I don't state the obvious picks unless it's F1. Matt DiBenedetto's winning the truck race. As for Xfinity, I'm going to go ahead and say Anthony Alfredo. is gonna win.
Lord! Oh my Lord!
As for Cup, I'm looking, and reasonably, I have to say,
Start drinking, Fidel.
we're gonna see the front row motorsports driver and the number 38 Todd Gilliland win. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing all these things happen. And if I don't get one of these right, then I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But at least the most reasonable one is Anthony Alfredo.
That's the most reasonable one.
That's the most reasonable one. Anthony Alfredo, that's at least logical. Tell me I'm wrong. Anyways, is that all we have to cover?
It appears so.
Well, with that being said, Matthew, you got anything?
Subscribe to Spinning One on YouTube.
Okay. So with that, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully we'll be back next week because we seem to never have proper scheduling because none of us are available at the same times.
We did better than last year.
We've got more episodes out this year than we have last year's, and so we're doing something.
We just got to getting back on track.
Yeah, it's just finding an availability for all of us to work out, or at least a few of us. But nevertheless, thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, guess we'll see you next week, hopefully. So, thank you all, and see you then.